Welcome to another episode of Rimshots with Sean right here on Eastlink TV. And we did something last year that I got a lot of positive feedback on, and that was I advocated my hosting chair for the wonderful Nicolle Bellefontaine, who actually just happens to be here.
That was unexpected.
Yeah, that was unexpected. So what we're going to do is we're going to do it again this week. And I'm not going to say what it is in the intro here, but I think you're going to enjoy it. So tune in. We'll be back after this. And I hope you liked Friday Night Hockey right here on Eastlink TV.
Hi, Eastlink TV. Good to see you again. My name's Michelle Ryder. Last year, Sean gave us the opportunity to have a little chat on International Women's Day, and I got a few friends together, and we had a wonderful conversation. And given my social circle, I collected a couple of very good friends of mine who I absolutely adore. Immediately next to me, you will all recognize Nicolle Bellefontaine right away. And my very good friend of so many years, Michelle Connolly, was gracious enough to join us. So we just wanted to get together today and share in a conversation. So interestingly enough, we've all been on a bit of a journey about self-discovery and, coming into our authentic selves and, figuring out what in this world is actually carved out for us and what we're going to do with it. And in having these wonderful conversations with these super intelligent and lovely ladies, it was divulged that, it was being mentioned to her repeatedly that she should have a podcast and talk about issues and share with other women our age, especially people who don't have our kind of social circle. And the same thing was happening with you. You were getting told repeatedly, you really should have a podcast. And of course, Sean was on me. You don't have any online presence and whatever. And what better way to kick off something like that than, so today, for the first time, I gathered the three of us together, and we had a wonderful day getting to know one another.
Amazing.
And they were exactly the way I thought they were going to be together. So I think we can have a lot of fun with this. And I'm very, very glad that you guys are both here.
Yeah.
And I hope this turns into something wonderful. At the very least, today is going to be a wonderful visit with the two of you. And, I think a lot of the opinions that we share get shared by a lot of women our age or in our phase of their journey. Because I think we were talking earlier about how young ladies today are so much more in tune way before we were. And I mean, different times, different upbringing, yes. But
that's right.
I just think it's a fascinating time for all of us. I'm certainly glad to be at the point I am in my life where things are really starting to come together, and I'm making a lot more sense out of everything that's happening around me all the time. And a big part of that has been the advice and mentorship that, because you guys have dug so deep into your journey, and then you share with me, and you watch me walk my walk, but then you're like, hey, tuck it in over here, tuck it in over there, because you're not believing in yourself enough, or you're not giving yourself. And I appreciate you both so much for giving that gift to me. And I think we're in a really good place to share that with a lot of other sisters that are out there, either with no one to talk to or are struggling with. And I'm just super grateful that you guys are here with me.
There's never a shortage of that.
Yeah, they don't know how to find them, though, do they?
I think that women are, our generation of women is, I always say that the Gen X woman is a sleeper cell. We're like a renegade that's just been lying in wait. We know that we don't have the population numbers to affect change. We've always known that. Mm-hmm. So we've been waiting for the young, what is it they have in, what's that, Mockingjay, whatever it is, like a, what is it that, I don't even know. I'm talking about but anyway, they're like Herald or whatever. I don't know what they call it. There's a word for it, right? But we were looking for the younger female generation to that has the numbers and the equipment. And they actually have the equipment because they are very socially, like social media conscious. So they are using that. Totally. They are leveraging that to inform each other and to empower each other. And so that is actually trickled to our generation because we've been doing it behind the scenes.
Right.
But we haven't
supporting
been stepping forward, right? Because to put it out there is to really commit. And once you commit to your opinion on the internet, you can be guaranteed it's going to be with you forever.
Absolutely.
So, and we know that, right? Like we know that there's no walking it back.
Right.
And if you've been in media or on stage or on stage, then you also know that the scrutiny is going to be a lot more intense.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we're also at that age where we're kind of like,
We don't care.
We don't care. Damn the torpedoes, right?
True. At some point, you reach a stage where you're not going to make yourself small for anybody.
No.
And the
tired
women
of
that
that.
are coming to the table that have a presence, but their voice is small,
Right.
we're here to empower them.
That's right.
Totally.
That's right.
Have you dumped a bunch of energy into somebody who was either not ready to hear it or just didn't get it?
Right, you're just wasting your time.
Yeah.
You're wasting
It's
your
a
time.
shame. You hate to leave somebody behind, but
It's true.
if they're just not picking up on what you're laying down, like I can only expend so much. I'll help you along,
Right.
but I can't carry your load. I got my own load to carry.
Absolutely.
I came up with this mantra
Okay.
in 2021. It's like, I'm no longer dragging the unwilling.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
I love
Like,
that.
if you're not with me, then see ya.
Right.
Move on.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And I think that as women, we actually have to do that a lot more frequently,
Absolutely.
with a lot more precision.
Right.
Right? Because I've said through the perimenopause and the menopause journey, that's a whole other topic.
That's another
I'm
episode.
trying to go see a compassionate doctor. I always thought I had limitless energy. I think a lot of women feel that you just go, like you can go and go and go and go and go,
Right.
and that you could give energy to this person, to this situation, and that situation. And then I hit a wall.
Right.
Like
Empty.
I hit an
It's
absolute
exhausting.
wall, and I went, Lord, love, and I don't have any energy left for me. And then I went, okay, I'm never going to actually be able to rebuild this energy. I recognize that now that I'm in fail-safe mode.
Right.
Absolutely.
If that makes sense.
Sure does.
So I cannot squander energy wastefully.
Mm-hmm.
And frankly, all the energy that I did waste, some of it I would like to get back.
Right.
And so if we can have these conversations so that we can prevent the younger women from getting into that trap, because it is a trap.
It is a
We've
trap,
been
yeah.
lied to.
Right.
Everybody's been lied to.
It's true. It's true. No more lies, but much more to come. Stay with us on Eastlink TV.
All right. Did we do introductions? Because I think we should do
That's a
introductions.
great idea. I don't think we
You
not
are?
Actually, I'm Michelle Ryder.
Your claim to fame.
Well, I'm a singer-songwriter. Been here my entire life. Have a day job. I work for the Public Service Commission of Canada for the RCMP in Halifax until I get to retire very soon, I hope. But yeah, in a nutshell, for the most part, singing, songwriting has become my big thing right now.
And I am Michelle Connolly, and my claim to fame is I was the very first female DJ here in Halifax, club DJ. I took that different parts of the world and ended my career, not ended my career, but ended up working with traumatized youth
Mm-hmm.
for Department of Community Services and helping kids.
Always
Yeah.
help.
Yeah, helping kids.
Amazing.
Yeah, rocking it.
Rocking it.
I'm Nicolle Bellefontaine. I have been I've been in radio forever, 32 years behind the
Wow.
microphone or working in some aspect of radio. Talking is, and sometimes making sense is my jam, but this is a lot more fun than what I get to do because usually I'm in a room by myself talking. I'm with Jack 92.9. Into the 80s, 90s.
Yeah.
One of the things that I would like us to focus on, because we had this conversation earlier today, and I never tire of it. Well, this and quantum science and ancient aliens, but
Quantum leaping.
quantum leaping. Oh, baby! Don't ask me any questions, though. I can't repeat any of it. I'm still trying to absorb it. I'm like, "Ooh, that's cool," and then it goes out. But that's okay. I'm still happy. But one of the things we talked about is that scientifically it has been proven, and you can Google this. Get on the Google after you watch the show.
On the Google.
But you can actually Google one of the biggest forces of energy that emits from us. In fact, the biggest is not love from our heart. It is actually authenticity. And if you think about all the people that have been really successful in life, the one thing that they are is truly authentic. They make no apologies. Doesn't mean that they're, difficult.
Yeah, no.
Although some of them can be difficult. But, authenticity, stepping into the truth of who you are. And I think as women,
Unapologetically.
Yes.
and I think as women, oftentimes we have a tendency to do that from a place of waiting for permission. And like, can people handle
Mm-hmm.
all of this?
all of this? because you are often given the, you're too much and
Right.
you're not enough at the same time. And I
It's
think
true.
that is a poison that we infect a lot of people with. So how is it, because I have watched you blossom in a way in the last couple of years, in particular with your authentic self, because it is very jarring for people when you step into who you really are, because they want you to be who they need you to be. And when you become your most authentic self, what is the upside and the downside?
I wasn't driven and on a mission to become the best version of myself I could be. What I did was put my head down and one foot after the other, trudging through life, trying to make something of myself and be able to support the children I had and was raising. And I was always on a mission, but never on a journey. And then, I got a lot of, you're too much, you're too loud, you're too. I'm not too. I'm just me.
Right.
And if I'm not your cup of tea, move
Move
along.
along. Yep.
I'm good. But I had an incredible, strong, powerful grandmother who was my lighthouse, who was my beacon, who saw something special in me when nobody else did. And she believed in me. And I didn't realize it, but she gave me the courage to just go out there and be me. And if people didn't accept that, then that's fine. You're not my circle. You're not my tribe. You're not. Yeah. I'm supposed to keep looking.
Right.
Yeah.
And life has brought me people like you two that I'm eternally grateful for the sisterhood that we have been able to develop. But it's curiosity to me, because some people wait for permission from somebody to start their journey. And I mean, unless you feel somewhat empowered, then how would you even know to start believing in yourself? Like, people wait for someone else to believe in them, and then they're like, yeah, I'm not so bad. No, you're not so bad. All by yourself. You don't need someone to tell you that.
You don't need somebody to give you the nod.
That's right.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's all about being very mindful of who you let in right from the beginning, because you let all this toxic energy in. Now you're just dealing with toxicity of craziness.
Barriers in your own way.
Right. So right from the get-go, you have to be very careful of who you let in, because you don't want to waste your time. We have limited time. We're women. We're getting the groceries. We're paying the bills. We're going to work. We're doing all this. So our time is precious to us.
Yeah.
And for somebody to come into my world and suck the energy in the negative way, I don't have all night long to counsel you.
That's right.
Because you're refusing to do your own work.
That's right.
Oh, that's
so
right.
you have to be very
That's right.
specific, in my opinion, of who you let in, because if not, they will drain you.
Absolutely right. And why you let them in.
Right.
Because you helped me identify that a lot of the things that I was doing, people pleasing, going above and beyond for everybody all the time, was part of a trauma response in me. I needed everybody that I worked with to like me. And I don't need them outside of work. I need them to do a job at work, but outside I got my own thing. I don't need everybody to like me all the time.
And not it's your happiness of other people is not your responsibility.
That's it.
Right. And I think that society has programmed us. I mean, lately the argument, of course, has been about the patriarchy, and the fact that the patriarchy doesn't serve anyone. Not just it doesn't serve women. Let me be very clear on that. I'm not for a matriarchy. I am for equality.
Right.
Always.
Exactly.
Earned.
But I do feel that we are programmed very early on, that we are recognizing now that, like those messages that we were told when you're young girls mature faster than boys. This is not a biological thing. This is a nonsense thing. Right? So therefore it disempowers males, because they're told, well, it's just a thing, and they're and then they're not actually taught how to emotionally regulate. They're not taught how to identify emotions, and meanwhile, the burden is put on females at a very early age. And I mean, like, if a guy liked you in school, he's going to haul off and slug you in the arm. Oh, he likes you.
Yes.
Oh, good. Let's equate violence with love. Right there at the age of 5.
Honestly.
Excellent. And we wonder why there's dysfunction in our society, right? There are misnomers now that we are challenging. And when you step back and you start challenging those things, and you become authentic, because you're speaking your truth. You're like going, I'm not buying into this.
Yeah.
But then there's the downside. And what is the downside for you? What have you found? We'll get back to that in a second.
Yeah.
I know that's
Yeah.
a steamer of a question.
Yes,
It is.
We'll be
There's a
back.
downside, but it's not impossible.
We'll be back in just a minute with more Eastlink TV.
So, welcome back to Eastlink. We're here at the Wooden Monkey doing an interview with Michelle and Nicolle here. What do we start with?
She kind of, you alluded before
yes,
we left
thank you.
to what is the downside of pouring energy and
The downside of being your authentic self.
Right.
What is the downside? Because there is a price to pay for upsetting people.
That's exactly where I was going to go. Upsetting people judging you, people being too harsh.
Yeah.
Right?
or thinking you're being too harsh when, you know, I think people get nervous when you're doing all this work to be your best self, and they're like, "Oh God, I haven't done. I didn't know there was a test today." There's no test.
Right.
There's no test, and what I'm doing should not threaten you in any way. Doesn't even affect you. This is me trying to make my life better day to day, and figure some stuff out for myself. And if anybody's threatened by that, that has to be their problem.
Right.
Did you run into negativity?
Well, I know a lot of people on the Trigger Talkie talk about how when you go through a spiritual awakening, and spiritual, I use that term because I don't know what other word to say, but I can tell you I can tell you the exact day, what precipitated it, and I woke up a different person. And
Wow.
June 7th, I woke up a different person from June 6th, and I just was able to give myself perspective. And in that process, there is a grieving, because you do actually lose some people that will never be on that vibration level with you. And I'm okay with it. I'm sure some people have been confused by that. My mother was one of those people that just could not grasp what was going on with me, because her trauma was ruling her life.
Right.
God love her. But I will say, one of the best parts of being your authentic self is that, or in my case, like, and I know you and I have been through a similar situation, and that is when you can sit in your misery, when you can sit in your discomfort and not anesthetize yourself by going on your phone, not try to, use a substance or a device or anything to pull you out of it, and you just sit in the pain, you sit in the rage, you sit in the frustration, in the despair, and the loss, and you cry from parts of your body that you did not know you had tears stored. And you realize that you can get through that. There's a badass.
I was just going to say
that you just kind of go like, oh my God, like I can handle anything.
I am
now.
invincible.
I am invincible. And when it does come up, because it does come up, again, you'll have these flare-ups. It's terribly uncomfortable. You're like, oh, I thought I did all this work. It's like, oh yeah, that's right. I have to keep doing this every now and then. There's like little touch-ups. But then you learn you can get past it faster.
Yeah.
But it also means, don't you see it in other people now?
Oh.
Yeah.
You try to go, wow, there's your childhood trauma coming out of your mouth every 2 minutes.
If you don't deal with your childhood trauma, your relationship dictates that.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
That's so true.
Yeah. It actually is like, it's like an infection.
In fact, we were out hanging out today, and we came across several different people and personality types, and it was so funny. Right away, you were like, this is what's going on with that person. This is what's going on. And you were not wrong, because I knew those people that we spoke to. The ability to identify it.
Right.
Yeah. It's the first step in helping them as well, I am an absolute open book. I will sometimes overshare because of my trauma response, but I'm open to sharing and having realistic conversations with people about how good life really could be if you believe in yourself and are willing to take the step on the journey. Exactly. And you will lose people. And
inevitable.
You know what?
You won't miss them.
No. Because they were dragging you down. They were dragging you down.
You don't realize it until you
you're vibing on a different level.
Right.
It doesn't work. And some people don't want to deal with their inner demons.
Yeah.
That's right.
But until you do that soul work, and be grateful for what you actually have, it doesn't work.
No, it's true.
Yeah.
Truly authentic, being your most authentic self it requires bravery.
Definitely.
But it also, on the other side of that, is a level of peace that I cannot even put into words, and nothing compromises that for me now. It's all measured. Am I more peaceful in this situation, or is it compromising my peace? If it compromises my peace, It's
Yeah.
too expensive.
Yeah.
It's too expensive.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's not worth it.
It's 100% not worth it, right? Life is meant to you're meant to have contrast. You're meant to have experience for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But if everything is you're getting pushed around by everything all the time, that's not a good place.
No,
that's
that's
not
right.
a good place. And other people living externally for the approval or validation of other people is so shallow.
Oh,
It's so sad. It
draining.
doesn't matter to me what I drive. It doesn't matter to me what my house looks like. And, if I'm in a certain neighborhood, like these things have never mattered to me, but I now know why. Because they don't matter.
Right.
They don't matter. Right. Status does not matter. It's
Right.
artificial.
Yeah.
What matters is who's going to come celebrate your life at the end of
Yes.
it. It'll be the people that knew you because you didn't hold back.
Right.
The real you.
The real
you.
That's
Do you
right.
find it heavy? Do you find, like, when people realize, you know what, when I'm struggling, I can go to Nicolle and get some answers. Do you find it heavy on you for people to rely on you all the time to steer them back onto
No,
that?
I actually I love it when I can prop up another person
Right.
and show them by example, because it reminds me as well how far I've come.
Mm-hmm.
And when I can do that, is because sometimes we forget. We go it's so far in the background, and I don't recognize how much growth I have. So if I can help encourage you or just give you perspective, that's always going to be a blessing for me.
Yeah.
Because I don't attach your misery. I hurt for you, but it doesn't govern my life.
Right.
Because I know that hurting is important.
Yes.
You have to feel
And
those feelings.
boundaries
I
are
don't want anybody to pull back from their pain. I'm like, run toward it.
Right.
Yeah.
Run toward
Deal
it.
now.
You get it over with,
So you
man.
can let
Don't
it
you
go.
think this pain has robbed enough of your
Right.
life from
Right.
you? Right? Like, don't you you can't get those years back? Do you want to give it more?
Yeah.
Right?
I have to give you props because you actually do a lot of work, but you take time every day to elevate people. I watch all of your TikToks, all your Jack FM snippets and everything. You make people feel good because you care enough to do so. And the right people are tuning into that all of the time. And I'm grateful
So now
to
we're
you
going
for
to get
doing
the
that.
girls on, and we're all going to be
Yeah.
doing this together.
I think this could be a very exciting journey.
I do too.
I
It's
really look forward to having more conversations with both of you and all of you just
Yes.
like this.
You're always
Yes.
welcome.
We're grateful to Sean for
Thank you, Sean.
Yes,
turning the
thanks,
mics over to us for one day and being able to experience this. Michelle mentioned we're here at the Wooden Monkey in
Yes,
Dartmouth.
sorry.
Thanks so much to
Yeah.
Lil and staff for allowing us to do this. Thank you, Sean, for allowing us to be here. There is background music playing. We do not own the rights to this music. It was just playing in the restaurant. Fortunate, unfortunate circumstance, but we do not own the rights to this music. Enjoy it while you can. Thanks so much for having us here. We hope to see you again, either on Eastlink or on a podcast somewhere else. But there'll be lots more to come.
Love and light,
Thank you
people.
so much. Take care.